Welcome to the final, well, supposed to be the final Let's Play from the poll thing, because the time's supposed to be done pretty much the third time, but I had to skip it because it's the longest. But this is the last to vote, and it is probably the worst, and the shortest, and, it's giving me a bad time. I'm not gonna have much fun of it. So without further ado, here are the logos and the intro of the final game from the poll that you voted for. Enjoy.
So, this is why no one is buying my delicious Stroopers, a magnificent mouth-watering creation brought to life by me, Dr. Soursop. Destroy those Smarties! Soon there will be no more Smarties to play with. Destroy!
Uh-oh.
Whoa! Oh no! This is horrible! Those troopers have stopped the Smarties being made, and the children of the world will be unhappy!
Stroopers still on
No!
board.
This can't happen! I won't let it happen! Here I come, Dr. Soursweet!
Smarties Meltdown, everybody. It's, quite an intro, huh? So before I begin, there is a options here which I will go through like always. And there's also a help thing, which, gives a lot of detail on how everything works in the game, including your controls. Here's the thing I didn't bother to read because there's so many controls, and not only that, there's a lot of text. You can read it yourself, but I'm going to explain some things. So, first of all, this is about, you know, a bunch of, freaking sour bastards, basically coming in to, you know, steal all of the Smarties, all the people that are just a bunch of live Smarties, because a guy called Dr. Soursweet has invaded the place, with a bunch of Stroopers. I know, stupid names. But it depicts that sours are bad and will make all the children cry, so this blue Smartie called Big Blue, who is literally voiced by, let's see if I can read this, Dave Benson Phillips. He literally just, like, gets on a suit, and now he can walk around and can punch and such, and now he's gonna try and, like, stop Dr. Soursweet and, save all the Smarties, essentially, and I guess save the kids, too. It's weird. It's obviously a promotional thing, but it's a really weird promotional game, and it's also really short, which is why it's a short play. Yeah, but it's not a quick play because it's under 5 parts. Actually, it's 5 parts exactly, and that's enough to be a fucking quick play. But here's the thing of this quick play. It shouldn't, because it's 6 levels, but you'll see why it's 5 parts. Right now, though, we have pretty much the longest part of all of these. The first level. They made the first level extremely long, while all the rest is going to be shorter than this. There's also a bunch of shit like bombs, which we'll only see like twice. And like there's a whole bunch of these energy cell replacement sites, which are just your checkpoints. And there's also a targeting system, which I don't even know what the hell a targeting system would even be, because I never got to use it. The combat is awkward and weird, and yeah, there's a lot of dialogue. It's honestly overbearing. The main thing here, though, is that we just have to go through all levels and we beat the game. There's no special requirement for getting every single Smartie that I will try. I will try to get every single Smartie that I can possibly find, because I am playing this blindly. This is my first time playing the game. And as far as I know, there's no walkthroughs or complete playthroughs of this game, which is weird, but whatever. Also, I'm playing on the hard difficulty, which is Smartest, so yeah, this game is not that hard, luckily, but it's got some kinks. It's got some problems that make it a little unfair. And I will die a bunch, unfortunately, because I am playing this blind, so I have no idea what to expect. And, yeah, it's not going to be a lot of fun. But the first thing we're going to be dealing with is we're going to be at the main hub. And for the first thing we have to do at the main hub is we have to get a certain amount of Smarties in order to get to the first level, about, 15 there. And, here's the thing. The Smarties are kind of small, and they also talk. They jump around, too. But here's the thing. Your movement's kind of slow unless you jump. If you jump, you go by a lot faster, which is kind of a speedrun tactic you can use, otherwise it's not that great. Anyway, it's a lot of platforming to go around, even though the platforms aren't very good, and the locked cameras are actually going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Doesn't do that too much, but it's still annoying. Not only that, but you really have to explore every nook and cranny to find every Smartie, and it's not going to be very easy or fun to do so. Not only that, but there's a whole bunch of doors around here, which you can't really unlock until you complete the first level beforehand, so that purple door there is our first level. We can't unlock it until we get the amount of Smarties needed. Once it's unlocked, though, we can actually get in and begin the first level of the game, because this is the hub world. And there's about like 20 Smarties in the hub, so. Also, there's a few robots here. These are considered enemies, and they will give me energy, which is used for our projectile weapons. But I don't have any projectile weapons right now, so this is kind of useless. Our health bar is on the right there, as well as our lives, which there is, if you read it, a maximum of 5 lives I can have throughout the entire game. So I gotta be pretty careful with how I utilize my health and my lives, because you can get hit and lose a lot of health very easily, because I'm playing on the hostility, and they kinda are stupid of how they handle the enemies in this game. Also, this machine over here, which is where you dispense all your Smarties, but the problem with that is it doesn't make much sense on the how you're supposed to dispense it, because you can only dispense it after you beat a level because of a cutscene thing. Otherwise, you can't really use that at all. Also, I got the number wrong. It's actually 15. But yeah, I got 10 now, so I can go for the door. But I'm going to go ahead and get all the ones in the hub world out of the way. Now, I guess if you want to speedrun this, a good trick would be to keep these last 5 until later on for the second level. Because, for the most part, you don't need the Smarties too much to begin with. But after the first level, you will have to be required to get a certain amount of Smarties to get to the next area, which is what the game expects of you to do. And usually, you're going to get a good fair amount. Like, you'll get like about 10 or more extra. You have to get pretty much almost every Smartie in the area before you can progress through. That's going to be the gist of it. There's also fall damage in this game, but right now I'm doing fine on the falls because it's not too high up, but if you go a certain height, you will take damage. Also, as long as it's a red door. But yeah, I'm not gonna get wrong about this level because this level is very fucking long. It is the longest level of the entire game, which is weird because it's the first level. And yeah, you'd think that every level would be about as long as this one, but it's been about 10 minutes with the cutscenes in the hub, and this level is about 30 minutes long. It's a long one. So we have to rescue all the Smarties, but we have to be careful because the Stroopers are around. They are these weird creatures that are different colored that can punch shit out of us and throw shit at us. They're the main enemies of the game. We will have to fight all of them for kind of the most part, but you don't have to necessarily, but it helps. There's also power-ups around here, including this power-up right here, which lets me roll. And this power-up will let me basically kill enemies in one hit by rolling into them. And what I'm doing here, I'm doing it pretty much accidentally perfectly. Afterwards, though, you're not going to see me get this well, done well afterwards. Because it is kind of hard to really control this. Also, jumps are weird. They don't work that well. This is the main combat, punching. I will be punching a lot by just spamming the square button. And you have to be fairly close. And not only that, but it's weird because it's a roll attack when you're moving, and there's a delay on the hit, and it's kind of useless. Because it also delays you afterwards, because you have to wait for it to finish rolling. And not only that, it's also a slide move, which is also kind of useless. And, yeah, it's just pretty bad because you don't want to delay, because the enemies can quickly beat the crap out of you in a way. And, yeah, some of the Big Blue's moves here does not help in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, to make matters worse, there is the fact that Big Blue here is also slow. He has a bit of a delay on things, and his combat is kind of weak. It takes a few punches to take care of these enemies, and they are your main enemies. They will appear pretty much the entire game. You will not really get any different enemies throughout the game outside these Strooper guys, so yeah, the fact that these guys hit that much punches, and this is the first level, and they're the only enemies we'll really be fighting against, not a good look. Anyway, there are some Smarties down below, so we'll have to go downwards to get them. I will just, write it down, I guess. Not only that, but, there's also an enemy right over here, which I can tell I took a hit, and that took about a few bits of health there. As you can see, the orbs do not restore my health because I didn't pick them up. But not only that, but when it comes to health kits, game doesn't really give you those much, and they don't bring that much back for you either. So most of the time you're gonna have to survive on how much health you have currently, and you will most likely lose a life or two from fighting these guys if they are in a bunch, because you can only really fight one at a time. But don't worry, we have 40 of these Smarties that we can move on to the next area, which there is a loading screen here. There's a lot of loading screens for this one level, and it's weird because every other level after this, when you go to the next area, it just goes straight to it. There's no loading. So this is what I mean by this being like the longest level of the game, because it has so many areas compared to every other level in the fucking game. And none of these loadings are seamless like the rest of the levels will be. You will have to wait for a good bit of loading time. It's just dumb. It's just really dumb, and it's not well made, and also, as you can see, I'm being gained up a little bit, and I can't really fight two at once. I have to sort of like try and separate these guys if I can, which most likely you're not going to be able to because I can't. You're kind of going to have to stand there and take their punches, which sometimes they connect and sometimes they somehow miss you, even though they're right next to you. It's weird. This game has some weirdness to it, especially in the hit detection sort of deal. But we'll get to that later. Right now, the main thing you want to take notice on is the fact that when it comes to movement, the best movement to take care of is jumping. Jumping makes you go much faster than walking around. And you'll be doing this a lot. You'll be just hopping around a lot, just trying to get through the level fast, because otherwise this game can take much longer than needed, and that's just stupid. Now, there's also buttons around here which you will have to interact with, and to interact with these and use them, you will have to press the triangle button. So, when you find a button, press triangle, and you will eventually press the button, because Blue here kind of has been a delay to him of doing that. So you kind of have to wait about like a second or two standing there after pressing the triangle button to actually use the fucking thing. Because otherwise, he doesn't really do it. And, yeah, it's just sort of dumb. And this kind of goes on. This is sort of how the game is going to be for literally the rest of the game. A lot of platforming. Even though the platform in this game is awkward as fuck. And you will have to be careful a lot of the time with your movements. And you're just going to have a bad time all around. It's just not going to be a fun time for you to deal with the game. And it's bullshit because it doesn't give you the time of day. You'll see why later on. Right now, this isn't being too bad. I mean, as you can tell right now, unfortunately, the AI here is really stupid. They can't go around anything. They always go straight for you. So this guy is getting stuck in walls. And that will happen a lot, unfortunately, because the AI is really dumb. But, yeah, right now, these glass boxes here contain our power-ups, which is the first one is this little fucking ray thing. It's our main projectile weapon, and it's also the good one. The other one is shit. We'll see why later on. But right now, this one is actually going to be of some use later on in the game. Because this close combat shit, it starts to get really unwieldy and bad. And, yeah, I'm going to need more than that. Which is why I'm glad we can actually use projectiles here. Because otherwise, we'd be fucked. Anyway, we're going to move on right now because there's nothing else around here. And moving these platforms will be of use, but I've checked. As far as I know, the game never hides anything under any box. So, it's just kind of pointless me doing this. Anyway, now it's time for the next part, which is the longest, well, the biggest area, really, of the game. And, yeah, it's this. There's a bunch of locked doors around here. We need to get a certain amount of Smarties in order to move on, about like 90, I believe. And we are close to that. There's also this power-up right over here, which is permanent. It makes us go a little faster, I guess. I don't notice a difference. Also, you might have noticed that by shooting these guys, that's like 3 shots compared to punching them about 6 times at least. So, a shot from our projectile is twice damage as our punches, which is very good. The problem is that we have to aim fairly accurately. There is a targeting system apparently, but again, I don't ever see it ever coming into play really. There is a first-person view though, but we won't be using that much. And in combat, it's useless because of the delay to the fucking fucking first-person thing before we can actually fire our fucking weapons. So it's like, But yeah, this area is pretty big because there's a second level as well. And we have to press these buttons in order to unlock doors, including the exit door, even though all we're going to do there is just to essentially go to the other side and pressing the button down. We can move forward from there. all these other buttons around the side here just for these doors, which we will need to open anyway and go through in order to get these Smarties around here, because we do need a good amount of Smarties. Again, there's no point to really, like, getting every Smartie, but it helps, like, immensely, and you kind of want to make sure you get as much as you can, because the game will lock you from exits until you get a certain amount, and you can't backtrack. You can't go back to an area you've already gone through before, but you are just much better off making sure you get the Smarties around here. Like, in every single one of them, and then going forward just in case you're going blindly. If you know what you're doing, though, you can go for the best Smarties and just, like, avoid the long ones and just, like, get through quickly. Or go through for the easy ones and avoid the harder ones and go through easier. Either way, you'll basically just be taking the easy routes at that point. We're taking the much more quicker routes than just getting every single thing around here. Which, by the way, I think there's a total of like 500 Smarties in the entire game, but the problem is, I have been unable to really get every Smartie. This is the first time where these numbers we've been getting so far start getting odd. Because I don't think I missed a Smartie around here. If you look around, it doesn't look like I've missed a fucking Smartie. But at the same time, I might have. And you can't really tell that well if you did or not. And not only that, but it's like, the game kind of puts you off from really exploring much when you get further in the game. Right now it's not too bad. It's actually like very open in a way, this level here. And you know, exploring around isn't that bad. But when we get further in, it's not gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be fucking stupid. Also, there is fall damage in this game. You can die from falling. I'll show that later on in this area, but right now I'm just focused on getting everything. By the way, you might have noticed that they've been giving us a lot of lives so far for first level. This game holds your hand the entire time, and they don't let up on that. And it's weird. And even right now, they give you more than you should need. There's at least like 2 free spare lives around here, and even if I lose one, there's another one pretty much right next to me a lot of the time. So it's just like, even though this should be the hostility of the game, at the same time, it doesn't make it that hard. It honestly makes it fairly easy. Kind of insultingly in some ways at times. Anyway, there's the exit right there. All I have to do is go through that right now and we're done. I'm not going to though, I'm going to continue on forward. And yeah, that's how much health you get back from these health kits. Which, by the way, the game does not give you much health kits, and you can't get them from enemies. You can get the energy to shoot projectiles though every time from them. They always give out at least 2, but you can't get health from them. So if an area doesn't have any health kits, which there are a good number of them that don't, you might be fucked. Just saying, you might be screwed because the game just sort of like doesn't help you there. It's just not very well programmed. It's not very well made, is what I'm saying here. And it becomes a lot more apparent as you go on forward more and more. Because the game just keeps doing the shit where it just like keeps giving you these fucking stupid bits of like platforming or enemy placement or item placement, and you have to deal with it. At the same time, it's just bad. It's just like not very well planned out, and it's just awkward and confusing and annoying as fuck. This game annoyed the fuck out of me to get through. And it will annoy the fuck out of you too. Like, just saying, right off the bat. But yeah, it's just... It's not a fun game, this. It gave me a bad time. It gave me a bad time, and you'll see later on, pretty much next part, why it's giving me a bad time. Right now, this part, it's long, but, you know, it's a first time thing. You know, I'm playing through it now. I'm not expecting too much of badness from this game. It kinda surprises me. Anyway, now I'm going to show the fall damage thing because you can die from fall damage of a certain height, and the height is this much.
Ow! My exosuit has been hit!
However, there's not a lot of places where that height exists. So you won't ever really be in much danger of that sort of deal. Even then, in this area, there is like 2 lives waiting for us around here. So it's like,
Great, another
even if I lose that life, I can just go over there and get that one and move on. It's way too fucking easy. That's the biggest problem with this fucking game. It's way too forgiving. Especially on its highest difficulty when it's supposed to be challenging at least. Because it's difficulty for experienced players at this point. It's for people, like for kids, who have played the game at least already and beaten it. So you'd think they would make it a little bit more challenging than this. They don't. They still make it a joke. So ultimately, you're not going to fail it that much. At best, at worst, the kid playing it might be absolutely shit and might get killed a lot by getting punched about because the controls and their own skills are kind of bad and they equate to bad gameplay. But other than that, not really. Because even though there's a lot of things wrong with this fucking game, if you're at least somewhat decent at playing video games, you're not gonna struggle with this game much. You're gonna lose a few lives, but the game just gives you it right back immediately, like right next to you even. Whereas, you know, on any other game, on hostility, it would not give you the time of day, really. It would make things a living hell for you. Also, there's no stats for Smarties collected, unless you get a Smartie yourself, so there's no point in getting everything. And I feel like I missed something, but you've seen I looked everywhere. So, I don't know where I could have missed any. And quite frankly, I don't care enough. So we're just gonna move forward. We're halfway there, by the way. And it's almost 30 minutes now. Every other part is under 30 minutes. Well, except for the next part, but there's a reason for that. But, yeah, it's just... I don't know why they made this one long, and then everything else shorter, but it's dumb. It's really dumb. Also, electrical barrier here, which does hurt you, but, you know, just find a button, you're good to go. Actually, there's some enemies right over there. They can't do much to me right now. There's also enemies right over here, and they can do much to me. And there's a path that lets me punch a lot harder, but obviously I'm going to die here. As you can see, when you get surrounded, you can't do shit much. Like, the projectile at that point would have been my only good source of fighting them, because close combat, they surround you, you're fucking done for. They will beat the shit out of your health. Like, no mercy. And you can't really run from them either. Like, I can jump away from them. I can run away from them. But even then, it's like, it's not going to be much help there. As you can see from the punches, my punches now do about 3 hits to kill them because of this power up here, which doubles my damage. So, it's greatly useful. Also, these breakables are fucking worthless. They give you 1 energy. Enemies give you 2, but these things give you 1. And it's like, you're almost never gonna find them useful. If they gave you health, maybe they'd be useful, but they only ever give you fucking energy. And it's so pointless. The breakables around here, unless they give you a power-up, are fucking worthless. And you will never really find any good reason to use it. Also now, for permanent upgrade of a shield, which I can activate, and it can shield me from damage a little bit, but I never really use it. I could, but I never bother. Because I have to hold the button down. And it's just like, you see? The game gives me no fucking reason to use the shield because it always gives me help. There's always like a health pack around here, always a fucking life around here that I can grab. There's never any real danger in this game. It's just like, the game handholds you way too fucking much. It's actually kind of insulting. Like, they think that these children that play these games are fucking retarded. But not only that, the game also then just gives you like the worst level design possible to fuck you over with bad platforming controls to deal with at the same fucking time. As a kind of example on this area here of the conveyor belts that, you know, there's some Smarties around here at the very end of them. The problem here is the camera, because it keeps trying to center itself over to the front, but it's slow. And because of how slow it is, it's kind of hard to even maneuver around because your movement is dictated by the camera. So if I go left while I was moving left, it can bring me forward. It's weird, it's dumb, and it's just poorly done. But that's just like a camera problem, while there's a lot more to it that's actually to do with the level design. Also, here's our other power-up that's a useless one, the heat ray. What it does is it shrinks your enemies. That's it. As far as I know, it doesn't do any damage. It does not damage any enemies, as I've seen. Seriously, I've tried, and I don't think it does a fucking thing. It's bad. It's honestly bad. And I found no real good use to this outside of, like, the very end of the game. Not even joking.
Gotta keep going.
So, now we have this area, which you might be thinking, oh great, now I get to use this ability. And then you see, all it does is shrink them. They don't lose any health. They just kind of get smaller and then they do no damage in a way. However, it uses up more of the energy. So it's like, why fucking bother? Like, why fucking bother when you can just use this other projectile, which does damage and kills them in 3 hits? And now we got the bomb, which to throw it is weird. You're not supposed to, like, use the square button, the action button to use it, or the triangle button to pick it up or whatever. You use the circle button as far as I know, and then just bounce around, and it kind of kills them. I don't get how this one works much, because it kind of, like, runs out, it disappears, and then they die. But they only die from a small radius, really. So, I don't get how it works. and I have never found a really good use for the bombs, and they only appear 2 times in the game. The bombs only appear on this level and a level way later, and that's it. The bombs never appear again. So as far as I know, it's kind of worthless, except for like the times when they appear. And even then, this time here, not so much. Second time, yes, but you can still manage without it. So I don't get what the real good point of it is. And again, it only appears twice, so the bomb is just like, well, fucking pathetic. It should be great. It's like a fucking weapon that takes care of all enemies after 15 seconds, but at the same time, you don't really get much of a use out of it. I don't even know if it actually damages you or not. Like, there's no indication that it does, so I might be able to just hold on to it the entire time and it doesn't kill me, but who knows? I never figured that out because I never hold on to it to figure that out. I just fucking throw it when I can remember how to fucking throw it, because you only see it twice and I keep forgetting how the fuck to throw the bomb, because the bomb throw isn't the same button as punching or picking it up. It's just weird. This game is just weird for so many reasons, and it's not good reasons. It just feels like they just throw a whole bunch of shit around, and then they give you these kind of generic levels to deal with. And it's just bad level design to me. Anyway, now we're gonna deal with fucking robots. And you see, the robot enemies in this game are basically invincible. Oh, they'll get stunned, and if you take care of their health, they restart, like they just forget about you and go back to their starting point. But you can't kill them. The game tells you can by hitting the switch, but no, it doesn't work. Even if I hit that switch that's like attached to him, it doesn't do anything. As far as I know, you cannot kill the robots. You can't do shit to the robots. And they can take out a fuck ton of your health in one hit. So all you can really do against these guys is run. That's it. Just run. You'll see it right here. I'm gonna shoot this guy. His health's gonna be gone. And then he'll just go back. And that's it. He will never die. He has no stun. In fact, I'll show you even more with the other robots, that if you are close enough and take care of their health, it just comes back to full health immediately. You can't stop these guys. You can't shut them down or anything. So, there's no point to find the robots. It's just, you run away from them. That's all you can do. And the game tells you you can shut them down, but you can't. Just... it's so fucking stupid. And you can't do anything about it. You just can't. Look at this. As you can see, I'm taking care of his health right now. Like, I'm about to die, by the way. There you go. And they're holding remotes, by the way. Because of what it says, you're thinking, oh, just shoot the remote. No. Doesn't do shit. And you'll see why very soon. Watch this. Watch his health as I shoot him from here. Look at that. Right back to full. You can't kill them. You can't stun them. You can't stop them. They don't even shrink with your fucking heat ray. So, all you can do is run. Anyway, here's temporary, which is like a full shield, which only lasts for like a very short amount, and it's not even that long for this one, so I will still take damage from here on out. But hey, I got rid of them. That's good. But yeah, like, this area just kind of starts showing you the problems this game has with, like, I guess what they wanted to do against what they have failed to do. And they have failed a good bit of what they were going for. Whatever, we now have only one area left, which, after this, we will be done with the first level. It's been 40 fucking minutes. We're already 30 minutes into this fucking first level. No other level in this game is this long. This level kind of deceives you even. It makes you feel like, you know, well, this was, you know, fairly long and, you know, kind of difficult. Maybe the rest of the game is going to be much harder and longer than this. No! A lot of the time, it's actually shorter and easier than this. The only time it's ever really difficult is because of the fact that the game just has bad level design if it's pretty bad platforming.
Time for a meltdown.
And it's just... it's difficult for the wrong fucking reasons, ultimately. And the worst part is, I've basically told you everything of this game now. You can take this first part and move on from here, but you might want to stick around. You might want to stick around for the rest of the levels because, again, level 1 is not the worst of it. Also, after I got like about 150 Smarties or whatever, the game gave me like a life there, I believe, for again a certain amount. Trust me, like, it's never gonna do that again. It will never give me another extra life for getting a bunch of Smarties again. But by the way, I just got a power-up that gives me like a close range advantage now, so I can now do a bigger combo, whatever. Doesn't exist. But not only that, it's useless here, essentially, because in order to progress through, you need to use your shooting power. So this little power-up I just got here is not really useful to me to get through here. But yeah, as you can see, there's a force field here, there's a sentry here. I didn't get to read it because I was too busy trying to fight. And I should have read that, because what I have to do here is my first person aim finally. You might have noticed that I never even bothered to first person aim at all so far. Because you might even think it might have been useful, you know, it might have been useful taking care of all the assholes that are in a big group from a distance. It's not. But, you know, it could have been useful. But I never bothered, so I never really bothered to try the first person out. And I kinda didn't know there was a first person. I kinda forgot at this point, because I never really bothered to use it. So I tried to do this bullshit here, by just shooting from third person. And the thing is, I was kinda confused anyway by how you're supposed to deal with this thing. Because I can tell there were these red bars, so I'm thinking maybe shoot those. But it never really registered. Like, I thought, hey, if I can hit that, that's fine. But no. And if I get close to it, it doesn't do anything either. In fact, my shots kind of go through it even. So, it just kind of didn't make any sense to me, and also the heat ray thing is worthless here too. I just don't get why they gave me the heat ray ability. It's only useful for like one specific purpose. Otherwise, it's shit. And yeah, I just keep going until eventually I finally hit these red spots. And then it goes green. I have to hit all 3 of them. But as soon as I do that, I run out. And not only that, but I kinda can't hit this third top one. That is when I finally bring out the fucking first person view. I mean, I also gotta get some more fuel because I ran out, but Yeah, this is where I actually have to get out my first person view and aim. And the first person is weird because it's not centered. When you fire your shot, it's off by the right, so you kind of have to aim a little bit to the left from where you're going for, so you can actually hit the thing directly, or else you kind of miss a bit. Even then, there's still a delay, because when you start the zoom in thing, it just slowly zooms into the body and you can't really do anything until it finishes the animation. So, have a look, because I'm about to do it right about now with my final shot, I believe. So I press all the buttons and there you go. See? Now I can move around and fire. And it's really awkward to aim this way, but I do hit it, and now I can finally get the fuck out of here. Let's end the first level. And that's your cutscenes. So now we're transferring all of our Smarties into this machine. And that's the biggest amount of Smarties you'll ever get in the game. You are never going to get as much Smarties as you can in the first level. Because every level after this is short. Like, much shorter than this.
Smartie upload complete.
So there you go, 197. I might have missed 3, I don't know. What I do know is that I got a whole bunch of these, and now we can move on to the second level. So, thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you guys next time for level 2 and 3. And you'll find out exactly why I'm doing 2 sector levels at once. Like, very soon. See you then.